the major con or the major downside of this phone, I can probably wrap two of the things up I've got up into one thing, but the build quality and the edges. I've got another Palm phone here, which is one of my previous ones, is the Palm Trio 750. This phone is built very, very well. It's a very solid phone. It's very nice construction. The switch on the top here, such an easy to use, very solid little switch. Really nice clicky mechanism to it. The stylus fits in nicely. Obviously the Pre doesn't have a stylus, but it's just a really solid, well built phone. It doesn't feel loose, it doesn't feel flimsy. Palm have always been very good at build quality on phones. It's always been one of their key elements. I fear that they may have forgotten about that a bit with the Pre. The edges, I know this has been discussed in quite a few apps, but this edge, it really is a very, very sharp edge. I mean, it really is very sharp, and it's very unrefined as well. Looking at it closely, I mean, I don't think you can see it on the camera, but looking at it closely, it's not even smooth sort of straight lines. It was quite a disappointment I knew from the reviews I'd read that it had sharp edges, but I wasn't expecting as sharp as that. And another thing, the switch on the top here. I mean, I showed you the switch on the other Palm phone. I can get into view there. This switch, as you can see, it's on the wonk. I mean, it's quite a nice little flicky switch. It's a fairly solid mechanism, but I don't know if I can show you this. It's quite hard to show you on camera, but it doesn't quite line up right. It's a little bit on the angle, and this little square in between the switch and the power button. So there's your switch, there's your power button. That little square there, it's not movable, but it looks a bit out of place. I don't know why they couldn't integrate that whole thing into the power button. And also I don't know if you can just make that out, but the top edge here, the back section, doesn't line up with the front section. It does all the way around the rest of the phone. So you've got your slide mechanism just there. All the way around it lines up. It's nice and flush. On the bottom, it's nice and flush. From where it slides up, it's nice and flush. Just at the top here, there's about a 2mm relatively sharp gap. Why there had to be that, I don't know. I mean, obviously you've got your slide mechanism. Why, when you slide it closed, is it not flush like all the rest of the sides? I just feel Palm have let their build quality go a little bit, and concentrate a lot on the OS side of it, which for me is a bit of a shame. Having said that, the form factor of it is a big plus to the device. It's very, very compact, very small. I mean, you can see it fits nicely in the palm of my hand, easy to navigate around the whole screen, easy to press on whatever he says, trying to press it, there we go. It's very easy to get around and use. Sliding up, very easy to slide that and then start typing on the keyboard. I've had no problems with the keyboard at all. I mean, as I say, I've been using the E71 and the Trio 750. I mean, the Trio 750's keyboard is pretty similar to the Trio, a little bit bigger, but the E71, its keyboard keys are a little bit smaller. I'd say a little bit more compact as well, so I'm used to small keyboards as it is. The camera works nicely. You've got quite a good little mirror on the back there, so quite handy for taking sort of self-portraits, or if you're vain, looking at yourself in the mirror to check you look alright. I suppose that's quite handy for the ladies. So yeah, the form factor I think is brilliant for a phone. I think it's a nicer form factor than the iPhone because you've got that keyboard on there. I think the keyboard's a big plus side, certainly for me. Maybe not for everyone, but certainly for me. Another downside of it, the battery life. I haven't given it a full test, if I'm honest, yet. I haven't I've been playing with it a lot. Tomorrow I'm going to start it fully charged at the beginning of the day, and I'm going to use it as I would use it on a standard day. Go to work, use it where I have to, and I'll see what it's like. I have noticed it go down quite quickly when doing certain things, surfing the web, downloading things. I know obviously it does that on every phone, but I've seen it drop quite surprisingly quickly. I am planning to get a second battery for it. I do that with every phone I've got, just so I've got that backup there. But my benchmark for a phone is that it lasts me a full day, so full waking day. So from when I get up at whatever 6:30 in the morning to when I go to bed at 11 o'clock at night. So you're talking a sort of 12, you're talking 18 or so hours. Whatever, 17 hours, something like that, along those lines. That's what I expect a battery to last, so we'll see if it does that tomorrow. Development is the next thing I want to talk about, and development of applications. I've managed to develop one app already for this phone. It's very easy to make things for this phone and let them know how they work. Very, very easy to do, and it gives it a lot of potential to have lots and lots of apps. I think it's a lot easier to build an app for this than it is to do for the iPhone. My housemate develops iPhone apps, and I'm going to be developing pre-apps. I just think it's a lot easier to develop pre-apps than it is to develop iPhone apps. So I think that's a big sort of pro for the phone. Big plus point is that once people realise that how easy it actually is, they're going to jump on the bandwagon pretty quickly. So we'll see what goes for that. LED notifications. This is one of my pros. The little light down here, press on the thing, it lights up, let go, swipe across, and it will light up the dots to either side and things like that. It doesn't tell you when you've got a text, so if it's sitting down there switched off, you've missed the text coming, so the screen's lit up earlier on and then gone off again. You've got no way knowing it. Now I know this has been fixed in OS 1.2. The phone shipped with 1.13. I'm talking about the phone as it is now, so we know there's a fix coming out for that, but it's still something that annoys me, because if I had a text now, you wouldn't know about it until you've switched the phone on.